Alongside Brett Myers, our producer tonight is Brandon Winters. Cameraman is the coach, Jeff Fadd. And excited for this one tonight, Brett. Two teams that on paper, this looks like a lopsided game, but don't let that fool you.
No, absolutely not, especially when you get hot at this time of year. And St. Viator has played a pretty tough schedule. Do not let the 15-16 record fool you. They have played some pretty tough opponents in their season. It includes 12 teams that were ranked in the state, 7 regional winners, and 9 teams that won 20 games this year. Notables that they have beaten this season: Chicago St. Patrick, Marian Catholic, and Bennett Academy.
Bennett Academy is a nice win for anybody, even in a down year. Bennett Academy is a nice win. Always a well-coached team, disciplined team. Also with St. Viator, missing Mark Clark for most of the season, their senior leader. He's been their leading scorer in both sectional games so far, 17 points, 20 points. And, their coach, Quentin Hayes, who's a 95 grad at St. Viator, said he provides a lot of leadership for our guys. This is a young team. They need that senior leadership.
Only one senior starter for the Lions, and that's Mark Clark. And it's good to have him back for St. Viator this time of year. He came back at the right time, and it showed in the sectional.
Sometimes things just work out. You never want to deal with injuries, but, sometimes better off when they happen early, because you get a kid like Mark Clark back, and it's provided a big spark for this Lions team. Again, coming in with 5 wins in a row. In the postseason, they've beat Vernon Hills 70-42. The Fenwick Friars, coached by Rick Malnati. Rick Malnati is one of those guys that's coached one of those teams that's rolled into a SuperSectional with a losing record when he was at New Trier. So, he said, I don't want to hear anything about their record. They're a good team. They deserve to be here. Obviously, he's not overlooking St. Viator at all tonight.
Yeah, he even said in an article previewing tonight's SuperSectionals in the Northwest in the Daily Herald today, he's like, I've been in St. Viator's shoes before. You can throw records out at this time of year. And it's been kind of an ongoing thing with the IHSA state tournament. Sometimes you can just throw the records out the window. It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. And
exactly.
Malnati's been there.
Yeah, he absolutely has been there. He's won 100 games already in his 4th season at Fenwick. Last year, this team was upset in the sectional by St. Joseph's. A little bit of a surprise. They were one of the top-ranked teams last year. They come into tonight ranked number 2 in Class 3A, and they're not taking anything for granted this time around after that upset last year.
Well, yeah, they've been on it.
Said won 15 games in a row. Their last trip to Peoria was 1998, led by a NBA player named Corey Maggette.
I may have heard of him before.
And you and I were talking before we went in the air about 1998 being one of those golden years at the state tournament in Peoria. There were some outstanding players and teams down there in 1998, and that was the last trip for Oak Park Fenwick. As for St. Viator, they lost in the SuperSectional in 2010, so they've been close recent history and looking to make that trip after tonight. And things change. You get in the big arena, obviously the shooting background is a lot different. Generally, you see shooting percentages go down, and it really becomes more and more about defense and more about rebounding the basketball. And, those are effort plays, and those are plays that a team like St. Viator that may have less talent, if they can contest shots and get Fenwick to miss shots, sounds really simple, and rebound the basketball, you got a great chance to win this time of year.
Yeah, don't expect it.
All right, we are set to go here. The IHSA Class 3A SuperSectional from the Sears Center Arena in Hoffman Estates. Mike Winters alongside Brett Myers here tonight. Matchup of teams from the St. Viator from the East Suburban Catholic League, Fenwick from the Chicago Catholic League. A couple of young teams here. You're looking up and down the roster, just 2 senior starters for both groups. We got a freshman leading scorer for Oak Park Fenwick who's got 28 wins. You don't see that this time of year very often.
No, you really don't. And I don't know.
We'll have to investigate that one. Stewart, open right corner once again, short, no good. Keeps it alive. Billy Bruce corrals that right corner. Finds Stewart baseline. He's caught behind the back, but rejected by Lubert. Sisson out of there with it, ahead to Hernandez in the front court. Hernandez drives left, got bumped. He's going to get that call. Tom Miller, the official there on that call. Tom's one of the best around, and obviously he wouldn't be working at this point if he wasn't.
You get the best of the best, not only in the teams of the state of Illinois.
Tom Miller, a really good guy, too. He's one of the guys coaching, just always love to have a conversation with before games. Little backdoor set there, nothing doing. Yeah, both teams look well prepared. They're not surprised by anything either offense is throwing at them here. Stewart off the drive, scoops up and in. Nice move by the freshman DJ Stewart. He's got 4.
He's a freshman?
He's a freshman.
I couldn't tell with that move.
No, you sure can. Hernandez, left-hand drive, kicks to Morton. Morton back to Clark. Majerus, Sisson. Hernandez left wing. St. Viator looks young. Just look at the frames of the guys. They got a couple young guys out of Morton. Deep three short on that one. Sisson with the rebound, drives left, pulls up, off the glass, in. JR Sisson for 2 off the window, and we're all tied up at 4. Fenwick, a little 1-4 set here, baseline out of bounds. Nixon kicks it to Nixon. Nixon, pull up, about 8-footer, good. Jamal Nixon, or check that, AJ Nixon, back-to-back baskets here for Fenwick.
If you say it's a Nixon, you're probably right.
Just guess Nixon if you're not sure.
Got a 40% chance of getting that right, Mike.
Maybe even 60%.
Maybe 60%.
We haven't seen all 3 of them together yet, but we've seen 2 at all times here. Morton, the lefty, sizes that up, drives, kicks back to Hernandez. Luber, little shove in the post there. Hernandez, nice little scoop, too strong though. Rebounded by Nixon, out to Nixon. AJ in the front court to O'Laughlin. O'Laughlin, nice strong move, finishes with the left hand at the rim. Fenwick 15, St. Viator 8. Lambesis to inbound right here on the near sideline. Little 1-3-1 trap coming now for Fenwick. Morton in trouble over there. He's going to be trapped, and he's able to step through it. 5-second count, turnover. Coach Malnati changes up the defense there and catches St. Viator off guard. Leads to a 5-second call to turnover.
What do you think as a coach? What do you think the conversation for them is going to be at halftime?
I think he's just trying to calm them down and just pump them up. And you know, as sloppy as that first half was, it's over with. You're down 7 and you haven't made shots. You know, if you just keep defending, got to be happy with a 22 on the board for Fenwick. I mean, this is a very athletic, very good offensive team, and you've held them to 22 points. You just got to tell you guys the shots are going to fall. Keep defending, keep rebounding, give yourself a chance, and got to believe shots are going to fall. But open looks have been tough to come by for St. Viator.
They have, and they give a lot of credit to the defense of Fenwick. You know, like we said, cutting off the passing lanes, just being in the right place at the right time. And St. Viator hasn't been able to get anything together. So if they're able to find a way to solve that defense that Fenwick's been playing, you may see a completely different game in the second half.
Absolutely. One of the keys for St. Viator was to stop transition baskets for Fenwick. You and I both kind of remarked that just how good Fenwick looks in the open floor, but they haven't had a lot of opportunities. So far, so good. I think if you're Coach Quinn Hayes and St. Viator, you wanted to shut down transition offense, and so far they've done that.
You can definitely see that there's potential for the Ramblers to compete against the Wichita States and the Illinois States and all the other good teams in the Valley, because as far as mid-majors go, the Valley has always been very good. I mean, they've been very good for the last few years.
Just a great conference, and just I think a tragedy they didn't get 2 teams in the NCAA tournament this year. I really do. I think Illinois State had a great season and didn't get that second berth after dropping the title game to Wichita State. And well, I argue if Illinois State loses that game by 8 points or less, they're probably in. I think that 20-point loss really, really hurt them. The opportunity in the at-large bid. And Missouri Valley, as good of a conference as it is, we've seen them struggle to get a second berth, and I think that's really too bad. That's a great basketball conference.
And I think if this was the year, if any, the way that college basketball has gone, where you would put a second team from the Valley in the tournament. Instead, of course, the power conferences are always going to get their multiple bids. But this year, though?
But you know what killed them is a team like Rhode Island winning, a 4 seed in that league, winning their conference championship. And those are the kind of things that kind of bump you off the last 4 in. And we saw Illinois State just hanging on that last 4 in, first 2 out for the last week. And that Missouri Valley Conference is so early in the championship season there that you just got to sit and painfully wait for over a week to find out you just missed the cut. So
now have you had a chance to take a look at the pairings, the brackets? Do you have any ideas?
I was really focused on tonight, so I have not. I haven't. I really like Arizona. I think Arizona's got a great road. I think Gonzaga is the team that everybody thinks is going to get upset, and the hard part with Gonzaga is you just don't know if their schedule it's hard to really tell how good they are. I think Gonzaga's really, really good this year, but it's
I
hard
think
to
they're
tell.
a Final Four team myself.
I think there's about 10 potential Final Four teams. I really do, and then there's always one or two more that what have we had? I think 6 straight years we've had a 6 seed or lower playing in the Final Four. So you just don't know. The thing has become the most unpredictable sporting event out there with the most parity you can imagine, and that's why it's so much fun. Illinois product nearby here from Lincolnshire Stevenson High School, Jalen Brunson. A chance to compete against Jalen Brunson in the SuperSectional a few years ago with Rockford Boylan, and he was just a sophomore then. And boy, we threw everything we could at that kid, and he was just too good. They beat us by, I can't remember too many, 4 or 5, but one of the better kids I've had the opportunity to coach against. I have to say Sean Livingston's still the best player I've had the opportunity to coach against in a regular season game.
You've seen some good ones.
Yeah, Sean was outstanding. That was the year before our Rockford Jefferson team went downstate. So our guys were young. We were mostly sophomores and juniors in that Peoria Central team when Sean was a senior. Man, you want to talk about a team that could flat out fill it up and score. They had Brandon Lee went out of Northwestern. Obviously, Sean was the number 4 overall pick in the draft after that year. And remember standing next to Sean during a free throw. He's standing right in front of our bench, and he's about 6'8". His fingertips are down below his knees. He had the longest arms I've ever seen, and he could just put the ball was like a yo-yo to him. He just kind of would do anything he wanted with the basketball, and I think we got a 7-4 lead on them in that championship game down at Decatur at Thanksgiving time, and we should have got on the bus and went home. We weren't smart enough to get out of there, and I think the next thing we were down 18 at the end of the first quarter after jumping out to a 7-4 lead. And, we were no slouch. We had 3 different Division I players on the floor, and that team was just that good. And realize that you've only got 16 minutes guaranteed, and it's do or die now. I think we'll see both teams step it up. I think we're going to see Hernandez play a better half here, and so St. Viator needs him to step up. We came in not knowing a lot about either team. DJ Stewart, we knew was their best 3-point shooter. He's looked awfully good off the dribble. He's finished at the rim, strong a couple times. The 6'1" freshman who averages 12.5 points a game for this Fenwick team is leading scorer here with 6 so far. Newbert, high post, little backdoor cut there by Morton. Nothing doing. Back to Sisson as St. Viator looks to cut into this lead early here in the second half. Lambesis, the lefty. Hernandez slips that screen, ends up getting caught behind the backboard. We're going to say that was deflected out of bounds by Jamal Nixon. And St. Viator will retain possession.
That's a good start, though, to the second half by St. Viator. You have Hernandez go to the basket, driving baseline, try to create some contact.
Morton just did get that in before 5 count. Nice drive, scoop, and finish by Hernandez. That's exactly what St. Viator wanted to see right there. Hernandez on the board with 2. Looked good on that drive.
He really did. He was, he got thwarted the first time around and here in the second half, but he's like, you know what, I'm going to just try it again, go to the rack, and maybe this time I'll draw some contact, and he did, and he scores the basket.
And he finished. Those first couple drives were really strong off the backboard, just kind of a little too jacked up there, but 3-point play. We got a 4-point game here. Good opening possession for St. Viator.
And it's the very first time the Lions have been at the foul line tonight.
Fenwick off a Jamal Nixon ball screen, pulls up at the elbow, no good, too strong on that. Billy Bruce with the rebound, kicks it to Keller. Nice little dish off to Jamal Nixon, up and in off the glass, strong move. He's going to be fouled by Lubert, and Fenwick responds right away with a chance at their own 3-point play here.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Nice little touch pass from Keller to Jamal Nixon there. Billy Bruce did the dirty work to corral that offensive rebound.